Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us today on this wonderful Friday for Comics from the Future. This is the show we do every single Friday where we let you know what awesome new series, cool covers, and all that good stuff are coming out so you can be aware and not miss anything. In case you don't know, my name is Megan.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Jason. We're with Infinity Flux Comics out of the lovely Chattanooga, Tennessee.
That is correct. So, if you guys would be so kind as to take a minute and just don't pause the video, keep listening, just scroll down for a second and hit the subscribe button on our YouTube. And if you're watching us live, you can open up a new tab and do the same thing. We really appreciate all of you who subscribe to our channel and help keep us motivated to keep putting these videos out multiple times a week. So thank you for that. And if you do not have a comic shop and need a hookup, we will put some info up at the end of this video on how you can reach out to us.
So this is an interesting week because it's the week that we don't wish for, but comics needs occasionally. It's a bit of a small week. It gives everybody a chance to catch their breath, catch up on their reading. There are some really good books we're going to go over, especially some of the local comic shop day stuff. But as you'll see, it's a little bit of a light week. So let's begin with our featured comics. So first up, from Marvel, we have the new Hawkeye series. This one, of course, starring Kate Bishop. So this is Hawkeye, Kate Bishop. This is going to be a 5-issue miniseries. I think they're releasing this very smart, very timely.
Yeah.
The second trailer for the new Hawkeye show just dropped, I think, yesterday. And so I think that this is going to be coming out right along with the show, which is really cool. So in this, Kate Bishop is headed back to the East Coast. She's been on the West Coast for a while. She's heading back to the East Coast. That's where her friends are, and she considers a lot of the friends she's made, they're more her family. And along the way, she takes on a case. The solicitation says that she wants to prove to herself she's sort of ready for anything. So the case she takes on, it sounds pretty nice because it happens at a real swank hotel resort. I mean, what better place? It's like, I'm going to take a case at some resort. It has to do with a jewel thief, but the whole thing is also said that she suspects it is a trap. I mean, it obviously can't go down. She's just eating shrimp cocktail and, catching jewel thieves that easily.
Willing to take that risk.
yeah, exactly. So I think this is very smart for Marvel to be releasing this. I think a lot of people are really interested in her since seeing those trailers. And this is just going to be that great bridge between comics and TV that we wish all of the shows could do and all the comics could do. So there's a couple of variants here. Here is the Todd NOCK headshot one. Got to get him on that. I think he's doing a little bit more dynamic stuff, though.
Yeah.
The bandage, just sort of the background. A few of the headshot ones have made me feel a little weird. This is fun. This has that sense of fun. Then we have the NOTO variant. I think this one's awesome. I mean, you got the swimming dog there. You got her. She's trying to relax, but something's disturbing her. Lifting the glasses, but of course the shadow.
Yeah.
So that sort of tells all the drama.
It looks like she has pizza dog.
Yes.
Now, so that's fun.
Yep. And lastly, we have the Scotty Young.
I mean, that need you say more? What a Scotty Young cover.
That reminds me of back when I used to talk with our dogs. They would hear me saying human nonsense, and then they'd bark, and I'd hear nonsense. But we know what we're trying to say.
All right, another very big one this week for multiple reasons. This is Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 5. This, in the new social media age, occasionally our creators will tell us something about something that's going to come out in the future and try to warn you about it or let you know, put this on your radar, which to me is cool that exists. You don't have to worry about missing out on this because had Tom Taylor not tweeted what he tweeted, this would probably be not on the shelves in a few weeks from now. So let's talk about it. Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 5. Tom Taylor tweeted last week on National Coming Out Day that John Kent will come out as bisexual in this issue. So there it is. It's happening in this issue. So, like I said, pretty cool that he let us know that it's such an advance. So basically, Jonathan Kent is going to be talking about in this issue how physically and mentally draining it is to save people. So he finds camaraderie in the character named Jay Nakamura, who is also a reporter, just like Lois Lane was. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm sure they'll do some plays on that and everything. So anyway, we definitely wanted to feature this week because we've already had requests for it. This will sell out. This will probably go to a second printing. The series has been surprising from issue 1. Number 1 sold out. It's just been a really good surprise hit, and a lot of people have been happy about it around here. So no matter what you think about everything going on, this will be a very, very big issue. So this is cover A by John Timms. Then we have the INHYUK cardstock variant. That's our character, Jay Nakamura, there on the right.
Yeah, Jay's first appearance was in issue number 2, just for anybody who's interested in that.
Good
I mean,
call.
you guys know how it is. When anything is even the lightest bit controversial, no matter how much they give us advance notice, no matter how much we shout about it, it is always still underordered. People find out about it when it hits the shelf. So, I mean, you know, that's what this show's all about. This is your chance to, like a lot of our customers, order 5 copies, whatever you think. So,
All right, and then we also have the Travis Moore cardstock variant. So go ahead and put your pre-orders in. I guarantee you this will not stay on the shelves the week of release.
So next up is something to give a little context to. November 24th is Local Comic Shop Day. That's a day that was founded only in 2014. For some reason, I thought this had been around for a lot longer.
Yep.
But it is one of our comic book store holidays, much like Free Comic Book Day or Halloween Comic Fest. The comics aren't free for this, but it is a kind of holiday day designed to bring awareness to local comic book stores, local retailers, and a lot of the companies will put out exclusive covers, exclusive books to help bring people into shops. This is interesting too because this week only Boom Studios had their official solicitations out for our pre-orders. Looks like some of the other ones are coming later. I know Marvel has one coming out with Venom that's been popping up everywhere. People have been talking about that cover, but we're going to start with Boom this week. So these will be dropping on November 24th. And first off, we have House of Slaughter, the Local Comic Shop Day variant cover. These usually will have a little badge on them that says Local Comic Shop Day and everything, so you know that they're the exclusive cover.
I have something to say on this one. So last Local Comic Shop Day, which, you know, that was dead set in the pandemic, they did a Something's Killing the Children #1 Local Comic Shop Day 1. Now, y'all out there who read comics, you probably know this one because it's the foil cover that you can't find for under like $30, $40 now.
We had so many of those. I remember we were giving them away like candy. We were so happy to, and then they were gone.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's why these Local Comic Shop Day books, because they're not free, we pay full price for them. They don't get over-ordered. So, I mean, we're going to, as a store, order a lot of this one. But if we're not your store might underorder these.
The next one is Magic Master of Metal. This is a one-shot that goes along with the Magic the Gathering series. And yeah, if you're reading the Magic comic, if you're a fan of it, you'll want to grab this one. I think these are in color, like the
I was
covers.
gonna ask you that.
I believe they are. I just think it takes so long to... you know, they put out this news and they put out like the covers and they'll be updating them as they go. But I believe these are in color.
Okay, so this is just the black and white, the version so far.
And then lastly, we have a new book called Regarding Matter of Oswald's Body, which I'll throw it over to my co-anchor over here, Jason. Jason, tell us more about this one.
Now it is my turn.
I'm going to interrupt you real quick, though. Just real quick. With the Local Comic Shop Day stuff, it was interesting that it's just Boom this week. And I think this just sort of signals a little bit of changes that may be happening with paper shortages and stuff. So I know Boom has talked in the past about specifically them having trouble. I know they try to keep their quality up. So just have your eyes out for that. These paper shortages may impact what goes on in comics. So.
Okay, so, you know, we joke on the show about how a lot of comics have long titles these days. Something is Killing the Children and all that. So this is regarding the matter of Oswald's body. This is a new one from Boom. And I'll just say, the minute I started reading about this, I was like, Department of Truth readers, just go ahead and sign up. This sounds really interesting. So this new series, it is a 5-part series. Although we have seen with Boom, they'll announce 5-part series, and if they do well enough, suddenly they become ongoing.
Yeah.
I don't think they've done that for the last few months, but they were doing that pretty regularly for a while.
Yeah.
So this is set during the backdrop of one of the greatest conspiracy theory events ever, which is the Kennedy assassination. So the conspiracy theory this one's playing off of is there's a theory that says that Lee Harvey Oswald was not buried where we think he was buried, that the body there is not his. So whose body is it? How could this have happened? Where is the real body? Maybe he's still alive. I don't know. I mean, myself, I like hearing about conspiracy theories. I will not say that I am an expert. I'm a very skeptical person in general, but I love the thrill and chill of these what ifs and these maybe things. So that's where this is set, is just sort of following all of that. I don't know what year, though. I think this is modern day, but I'm not positive. The solicitation wasn't really clear about that. But there's a team of people put together. It sounds like the conspiracy is real, and they are put together to try to hide what is considered to be the greatest crime ever pulled off, which I assume would have something to do with Oswald's body. The team sounds really interesting. Let me think. How are they described? It was they're called Useful Idiots. Yeah, they're a team of 4 useful idiots. And one of them is a wannabe cowboy. One of them is obsessed with Buddy Holly. So I don't know. The more I hear about this, maybe it is set sort of back in the past. But one of them is obsessed with Buddy Holly and is a car thief. One of them is a aging civil rights activist who is sort of at the end of their rope. They're just ready for something to happen. And the last, who this might be the guy on the cover here, is a failed G-man. And a G-man is a government man, typically like FBI. So this guy, you know, I guess he got kicked out of the FBI. So these 4 are brought together to try to pull off this big conspiracy. Sounds like an interesting premise. I like a story with multiple weird characters, especially ones that are kind of like loser types with less to lose. Typically a lot more interesting, a lot more ready to take risks. So that is what this is about. I had to read a lot about it because it's a big sort of concept piece. This is done by Christopher Cantwell, who a very acclaimed writer. So there you have it. And here is this is the C cover.
It reminds me of the sort of That Texas Blood or the Brubaker Phillips criminal stuff.
Yeah, and now that I see the art more, I would say, this is set probably in the 70s, right following all that.
I wonder if I feel like they almost have to get James Tynion's blessing to write this, but, you know, it is a concept that's out there.
It's the rise of the conspiracy comics.
Yeah.
Why
You know,
not?
is that a good thing? I mean, I do like to indulge in such questions.
Yeah, I want to see the anthology, like the Unsolved Mysteries anthology, hosted by Robert Stack in comic form. So,
all right, this is John Leguizamo, the comic. I mean, it is Phenom X. How would you pronounce this? Do it. How do you say that? Write it phonetically in the comments. How you would say this. Anyway, I'm gonna say it's Phenom X. Phenomenon. Okay, anyway, this is co-written by John Leguizamo, the actor. We just saw him in a film the other day. It was a really exciting and awesome. He's a great actor. I'll tell you a little bit more later about his acting stuff. But anyway, he's co-writing this new series. It's from Image. You can see Rise of the 90s, once again, totally looks like that to me. It is about a man who is wrongfully imprisoned, and he makes a deal in order to regain his freedom to be part of some government experiments. So that's going to go great, I'm sure. Everything will be fine. But, you know, pretty tried and true concept, so hopefully it is really good. And it also, this is our cover A. I was going to talk quickly about this cover. This is the cover B by Todd McFarlane, and if you don't know, John Leguizamo was Violator in the 1997 Spawn movie, so their connection definitely makes sense, and I wonder how much they'll be collaborating with this. I think we'll probably continue to see McFarlane covers in this series.
So what year did you say the Spawn movie was?
Wasn't it 97?
Yeah. So I just feel like back in '97, McFarlane's like, I owe you one. And then here it is, like 20-some years
All
later,
these
he calls
years
him up.
later.
I'm here to collect. John Leguizamo here. Give me a cover, McFarlane.
We just watched the film with him. It was called Spun. If you guys have seen Spun, it was
That was a wild movie.
MTV, made for MTV movie. It was really good.
A lot of fast edits.
I imagine not many people have seen that, so please let me know if you've seen that movie in the comics. But yeah, this from Image looks pretty interesting, so give the number 1 a checking out.
But once again, it was us seeing celebrities working their way into comics.
Right.
That is a
You're
very
right.
a thing, think
It's
like
on the
Keanu
rise.
Reeves
Keanu,
for
Amelia Clark.
yeah,
Now this.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, it's that special time of the year that we all come together and we celebrate Wookiee Life Day, the famed holiday that was originally seen in the Star Wars Holiday Special, where all the Wookiees gather back on their homeworld of Kashyyyk, and they have their magic crystals. They wear their red robes. Every big Star Wars fan holds the Star Wars Christmas special very high in their hearts as probably the definitive Star Wars canon.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I love that they are taking this. This is a one-shot from Marvel, and making a anthology story about it. So Star Wars Life Day Special is going to be. It's going to have kind of a through-line story of Han and Chewie getting outgunned and outmatched by some I'm sure villainous smugglers or something, and all the while though Chewbacca is holding on to hope because it's Life Day and he is remembering the lessons he's learned through Life Days past. So we get these stories that he's remembering by writers like Van Scott, Justina Ireland, Jody Hauser, and Steve Orlando. So some pretty big names who are working on a lot of the High Republic books, part of the kind of story canon group of Star Wars right now to tell these stories of the most wonderful time of the year, Wookiee Life Day.
I wonder if this is going to become a new thing, like where they do a Life Day book every Christmas.
I hope so. Well, as you know, Life Day is celebrated every 3 years. But since the fall of the Empire, it's actually been sped up to every year, but traditionally it's celebrated every 3 years. But this is really cool. I believe there are variant covers for this, but they do not have any of them up. I'm hoping that we get a cameo from B. Arthur, maybe, like in the Christmas special. I mean, let your imagination run wild with what stories could be in this, because they didn't specify.
Okay, so our last feature comic is a new one by Aftershock. It is called My Date with Monsters. And I have to say, I've read all about this, and it is a very puzzling premise. It's interesting, but it is hard to describe or wrap my head around. I think I'll have to read it to really, really see. But when I tell you who the person who wrote it is the person who did Bunny Mask.
Oh,
so I think, that kind of describes it all. I mean, Bunny Mask was just that concept where it's like, try to tell somebody about it. Good luck.
Yeah.
But when you read it, you'll know if it's your thing. So this takes place in a world. I sound like old.
In a world.
I know. In a world where they tried to weaponize dreams. And when they did this, it didn't work out well. They broke the fabric of reality between what is real and what is dream. And all these dream monsters started breaking into reality. Well, for some reason, it is up to this one girl. I assume she has some kind of dream powers. They didn't really specify. But it's up to this girl and this, they say it's a friendly-ish monster that she teams up with. So somebody from the other side who's nice enough to maybe help her. And they team up and they have to try to save the world. The other part that was puzzling, though, it says also that she, for some reason, it does not explain why, she is forced to have to find her true love amongst the monsters.
I don't know what would cause that to be something you have to do.
I don't know, but it was very specific. So she's trying to save the world, dreams, and also find her true love amongst monsters. You know, that's what indie comics are for.
Yeah.
You know, premises that I can't wrap up in a neat bow. So that's the new one from Aftershock. And now we're going to get to other number ones. These are other number ones that we decided not to feature. They're also interesting. It's just, you know, we can't feature everything.
Alright, this is Death of Doctor Strange, Spider-Man. I believe this is a one-shot. I'm going to be timed in, of course, with the Death of Doctor Strange miniseries. So part of Doctor Strange's will and testament was that Spidey deal with some particular issues and problems that only he could deal with. So Black Cat is also going to be teaming up with him in this one-shot, and they're going to take care of whatever Doctor Strange told them to deal with in their will. So
That's going to be very interesting, though, because that's Ben Reilly.
mm-hmm.
And I wonder if he specified as well, I don't care who's wearing the Spider-Man costume, it's your problem. Or is it because he's like the trademark-bound Spider-Man that he has to do this? I don't know, but another thing showing that Ben Reilly is sticking around. He's going to be in more than just Amazing Spider-Man.
And I'm interested to see how Black Cat gets along with him, too.
Yeah, they are not, it was, teased that they are not exactly friends, so they'll have some back and forth.
Okay, next up is a new book from Dynamite. This is Nyx. It was hard searching for this because you put in Nyx and you get NYX, the first appearance of X-23 from Marvel. But this is spinning out of the pages of Vampirella. This is Nyx. She is the daughter of a human and a mad god of chaos. So she's got a little 50-50 split, and she's trying to control those two sides of her. One of them being the human side that's been slowly kind of taking over. She can live a normal life, but the other side of her can burst into living flame, as one happens to do sometimes. And things are going pretty well for her until she is brought into her father's workplace problems, which, being a mad god of chaos, can only mean so many things, so many horrible things. So this is, like I said, the new book from Dynamite by Christos Gage and art by Mark Bronstel. We've got also a pretty cool one. We've got a Rose Besh variant cover. And I actually saw when I was looking at this, the issue 2 also has a Rose Besh variant cover. So I wonder if she's going to be on this series for a while.
Her rise has begun. We've been talking about it since that Silk number 2.
This is a good one, yeah. I like it a
so
lot.
if you like to collect all of her stuff, you want to start here, not skip on this one, because there's some good ones coming down the pipeline.
Well, who knows when we'll see another Rose Besh cover. So this is Vampirella number 25, the variant by Rose Besh. Yes, I did know that was there. And in this issue, Vampirella, it's supposed to be the wedding of the century between Vampirella and Dracula. I'm just going to go ahead and predict something's going to stop it. I think Vampirella's going to get out of it. It's her book. She's not going to be beholden to anyone, not even Dracula. But that's not what it's saying in the solicitation. So, I don't know. They're supposed to get married. Anyhow, we didn't want anyone to miss out on this cover, though, this particular cover. So Rose Besh, once again, doing her thing.
It's also the last issue of Vampirella.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it's Christopher Priest.
For that.
I just know everything about everything. So this is, it's Priest's last issue of Vampirella, so I'm guessing we're probably also going to get a new number 1 sometime soon, or announcement about who's taken over.
But will it be Vampirella and Dracula number 1?
That's
or
true.
Dracula and his new bride Vampirella number 1?
Yeah.
Or
Vampirella newlyweds.
Yeah.
Alright, this is Archie and Friends Christmas Calamity. If you are a fan of the Archie specials that they put out, this is one coming up for Christmas. So I have to say, at least around here, Archie does not sell super well. I'm not afraid to say that. But we always get a couple just in case. A kid will trickle in eventually. Usually it's actually a grandparent. But if you do like Archie, the Christmas Calamity is on FOC this week.
Help us show that Archie is still viable,
Still
and people
here.
love that goofy redhead who has 2 attractive ladies who love him, and he just doesn't know how to handle it. That's my description of every Archie.
You made him sound super cool.
I mean, once they had him go up against Predator, everybody started reading again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next up is a new Rick and Morty series. This is Rick and Morty Corporate Assets #1. It's really funny. So this is written by James Asmus, who I know because he wrote Quantum and Woody for Valiant a while ago. Very funny. This is going to be a 4-issue miniseries, and they said it's the most meta Rick and Morty story ever, which is saying quite a bit. So in this one, Morty agrees to a terms and conditions on a new mobile app without reading them first. Shame, because we all read those
so
very
like him.
close. And this binds Morty into a contract with an intergalactic corporate creators of the app. And so Rick has to come and rescue him, but as usual, Morty's going to screw it up, and Rick and Morty are stranded in the furthest reaches of the multiverse, and this evil corporation has all of Rick's tech stolen from him. So what's going to happen?
I would be surprised if this is more meta than the Story Train episode.
Oh,
for those of you who've
yeah.
seen that Story Train episode, I mean,
That one's crazy.
yeah.
Yep, but that was our A cover, and then we have a Lee variant cover, which I like this one, where they're like action figures in boxes.
All the action figures, that's very cool. Okay, so our last other #1 is White Ash Season 2 #1. So this takes place in a little town in Pennsylvania where the residents have a secret in that there are dwarves and elves that live amongst them. And they try to keep this a secret. So if you enjoyed the last series, they're beginning up another series with White Ash Season 2 #1. Now we move on to our cool covers and other comics. These are just good variants that we want everybody to know about. This is also the time where we remind you about issue 2s and 3s. You know, it's your chance to sign up for the series before it's too late so that you don't miss any issues.
And speaking of that, this is Transformers Wreckers Tread and Circuits #2. The #1 just came out this past week, so if you're a Transformers fan, definitely sign up for this. It's going to be a 4-part mini-series. This is the A cover for it.
Next up is Righteous Thirst for Vengeance #2. That one also came out, I believe, this week. And if you liked it, if you like the nonstop action, not super dialogue heavy, like Jason, you read it multiple times, you'll want to pick up the #2. As well as they are doing a #1 second printing. So if you missed out, here's your chance to get both of them.
All right, so this is Amazing Spider-Man #79. This is the Dan Jurgens variant. So got Dan Jurgens in there doing some stuff. Of course, he did so much with Superman back in the day.
Yeah.
And now he's showing his chops on Spider-Man. And in this issue, Kraven comes after Ben Reilly. So right away, Ben Reilly learns it is not easy trying to fill in for Peter Parker when people, Kraven's like, I already beat Peter. Let's see how this guy can do.
He came out of semi-retirement because there's a new hunt.
Yep, and I know we've said it on our shows, but in case people don't catch them all, Amazing Spider-Man is coming out 3 times a month. So if you're looking for a fast-paced series where you don't have to wait month to month, they're doing it, and so far they're keeping up.
All right, next up, this is Captain Marvel 34, the Art Germ teaser variant. So the solicitation said that we will have the reveal of the year.
Whoa.
In this issue, and considering this is the teaser cover with the traditional Captain Marvel, I am wondering what's going to go down. So either way, this is a really pretty cover by Art Germ, still killing it for Captain Marvel 34.
Yeah, there's been a lot of hints that the original Captain Marvel might be coming back somehow. Like I couldn't tell you how at all.
They all but said that in the solicitation. So
yeah.
Next up is another big one. I would argue maybe the biggest one, bigger than the last one. This is Daredevil #36, and this is the last issue of Chip Zdarsky and Marco Cicchetto's really big run on Daredevil. I feel like it laid really low for a while, and then suddenly people were like, "Why aren't I getting this? This is huge." Of course, introducing Elektra as the new Daredevil when Matt Murdock was in jail. Well, it's coming to a close. This issue is going to be an oversized issue. It has the wedding of Kingpin and Typhoid Mary, which I'm sure they are going to live happily ever after. And Matt Murdock and Elektra face off to see who is going to keep the title of Daredevil. So it's funny when the solicitation for this came out, it was like, that's it, this is the end. We do know that we have the miniseries coming later, the event book, Devil's Reign, which is the same creative team, but it looks like this is going to lead right into that, which I think is going to be a pretty popular event with this great creative team on it. So this is our A cover, the Chiquetto. Then we have the Cabal Stormbreakers variant.
It's really nice. I like just the cool coloring
Yeah.
to it.
And then this is the Panosian Foreshadow variant, but I actually found this one online, and it's like a big head Kingpin with Daredevil and Elektra hanging on a cord over to the side of it. So I don't know if it's just foreshadowing the Devil's Reign story or what it is, but from that it looks like maybe they're both going to stick around as Daredevil.
Okay, so this is Death of Doctor Strange #3. Now check out the cover. These are called the Three Mothers, and they're a new villain group that has been held at bay all these years by Doctor Strange. And with his death, they of course are coming forward. One is called the Weird, one is called the Crown, and one is called the Crawling. And so they are sort of the new nemesis that are coming forth, that it seems no one but Doctor Strange is able to hold them at bay. The other question about them is, were they the ones who killed Doctor Strange? You know that, so you'll have to read to find out. And then here is the variant by INHYUK Lee.
Dr. Doom's sticking his nose in everything nowadays.
All right, this is Fantastic Four #38. You see She-Hulk on the cover. She is joining them to help them both in and out of the courtroom. I really like seeing this cover with her as a lawyer on it. So this is the A cover for #38. And then we also have the Bustos Stormbreakers variant. Of course, the series has been enjoying a little bit of a boost in sales lately after issue #35, which had the cameo of Reed Richards' sister. So we'll see if it continues on.
Next up is a couple of variants from the new kind of variant series that Marvel is doing, called the
Infinity Saga.
I've got
Phase
Infinity Saga Phase 1 variants that kind of homage the movies. So we have Iron Man #14. This is the Chiquetto variant, and I thought, and this one is interesting, it mentions the witness the birth of Cosmic Iron Man.
That's what I was about to ask. I thought I saw that too.
Yeah. So I mean
that might be one to watch out for. When characters go cosmic, usually that's like one everybody wants later.
Yeah, like Cosmic Spider-Man and all that.
Cosmic Carnage. Yeah, when you got Silver Surfer's powers for a minute.
And then we have the Lupacino Thor variant, and this actually starts the new story arc, God of Hammers, where Mjolnir has gone missing, and Thor has to reluctantly team up with Odin to try and find it.
So what I'm wondering is, because I do the deep dive on all the Infinity stuff, so we have these covers on Iron Man, and now we have one on Thor. And, in Thor, they had the thing where it looked like Thanos was holding the hammer with all the Infinity Gems in it, and we all think that's what this is building toward.
You think that's where the hammer went?
I mean, it's missing. Thanos came back with the Eternals. Anyway, I'm interested. I think, these are ones that if any of you are interested in the Infinity stuff, you might want to grab these, because I think it might play in together. So this is X-Men #5. This is the Kal-El variant. In this issue, the X-Men have their newest nemesis, Dr. Stasis.
This is X-Men Trial of Magneto #4. This is just a 5-part series, so it's almost over, and it says Chaos is coming to Krakoa. You can kind of see that on the cover with Scarlet Witch, so don't miss this one. This is just the A cover.
It's a heck of an A cover.
Next up is Darth Vader #18. And this is still considered part of War of the Bounty Hunters, even though that has just this week wrapped up. Because Vader has now learned that Crimson Dawn is still a thing. I thought it had gone away, but the crime organization's still around, and it has infiltrated every corner of the galaxy, including the Empire. So Vader is now going to stop at nothing to track down all of the members of Crimson Dawn that are now in the Empire and get rid of them, probably pretty horribly.
That's a strong cover, too.
It is.
That's a very cool Vader cover.
Also, this is a really cool Vader cover.
Yeah.
This is the Lashley variant. So
there's a ton of action going on.
Tons of action. I love how they always make Vader look a little bit more mobile than he actually is. He looks like, I don't know if the real one could stretch his arms that high up, but
yeah, in the movies he's a bit more stiff.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is out number 2. So this is the book where it is Nazis versus vampires versus the very soldiers who brought the vampires into things to try to kill the Nazis. So if you enjoyed issue 1, this is your chance to sign up or let your retailer know that you want issue 2, because I feel like with books like these, you just don't order a lot of them that far in.
Same deal here with The Sumerian Beyond the Black River. This is issue number 2. This is the cover A. And then this really cool homage cover. This is cover D. So that means there's more in between if you want to go take a look and pick out your favorite.
We need to have a board for homages where every time we see one, we add it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the Beta Ray Bill homage, that's the 8th one, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, which I think is cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
it looks
great.
It looks good.
But I'd like to see who wins the race of most homages.
That's just a testament to how strong the covers they homage are. That they're like, we do this one because everyone knows it and it's so good.
I grab them all.
Mm-hmm. Next up is Citizen number 3 from Action Lab. So if you've been reading this one and enjoying it, definitely let us know that you want to be on the series and continue to order it.
Same with this one, Chicken Devil number 2. This is the chicken fried revenge tale. If you enjoyed number 1, here is your chance to order number 2 of Chicken Devil.
He's got a lot less confidence on this one. The first one, he's like coming at you. This one, he looks pretty dejected.
Yeah.
All right, and for you Life is Strange video game fans, or just a cool concept story, this is Life is Strange Settling Dust, number 2 of the 4-part miniseries. This is the A cover.
Oh, is this May's book?
Wow. It is, yep.
Oh, yeah, now I see it. So this is May's book number 3, cover B, the Hernandez variant. Jason's been reading this one, and you've been enjoying this Jeff Lemire series. We're doing the writing and the art on it. So if you like it, definitely.
It is very Lemire.
Very
That's
Lemire.
What it is. Lemire wants to tell his sad tales. This is not superhero Black Hammer Lemire. This is Lemire doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think the stories he really kind of wants to do mostly.
Yeah.
So, but it's been interesting. I'm looking forward to him going into what he thinks is the maze in this one. Okay, so this is Radiant Black number 10, but this is a special $9.99 version of it because they've made it with blacklight reactive ink. Not just the cover, the whole comic.
Wow.
Whoa.
From what I read. So, I mean, there's a slight chance I could be wrong because they didn't specify, but they said this comic is made with blacklight reflective or reactive ink. They also say they are not reprinting this. This is a one and done. I'm not surprised. I mean, when you do something special like that, it's not like they're just set up to do it over and over again. This probably took a lot of planning in advance for them to do it. And so it's going to be $10. I guarantee your store is not going to order a ton of these. So if you want it, whether you've been reading Radiant Black or you just want to see how this comic looks with your black light.
I know, when we do our review of it, we need to bring a black light in and show it off or something.
Black lights are going to sell out on Amazon.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very cool, and Radiant Black's a perfect series to do something where, you know, you're working with weird versions of light. So. All
right, this is Batman 89 number 4 of this. It's going to be a 6-part miniseries, so it's almost halfway over. This is the A cover by Quinones.
I'd like to point out, you know, like there's somebody looking like Robin there, but I don't know who. Well, I'll have to read it.
And then I really like this one. This is the cover B by Babs Tarr, the cardstock variant. Once again, for Batman 89, in this right now, Harvey Dent has officially turned into Two-Face, so the story is ramping up toward its conclusion. So pick your favorite cover. Really like this one. I think this one will be popular.
That was one of my 2 favorite reads of last week on our Tuesday show. The Batman 89
It's
number.
been a real big hit.
Yeah, number 3 was great.
Next up is Future State Gotham, number 7. This is the Rosebesh variant, and this wraps up our Hunt for Batman story arc. So wrapping up kind of one of our first big stories in Gotham Future State, which I'm excited to see what happens after this. This is kind of the story we knew was coming, but where does the Future State go after this?
All right, so this is Harley Quinn Eat, Bang, Kill tour number 3. Yes, number 3. And this is the regular cover. In this issue, Harley and Ivy go on their first date, but it gets interrupted by Hush and James Gordon. They just can't be left alone.
Oh, no.
So,
He is hunting them down in the series.
yeah, so this is the regular cover, and then we have the Hetrick variant.
That one's so pleasant. How often do you get that pleasant of a comic book cover?
Yeah.
All right, next up is I Am Batman number 3. This is the Kim Jacinto variant. It's Fear State tie-in. In this one, Jace Fox is about to go after Seer, the anti-Oracle. So once again, I Am Batman number 3, the Jacinto variant.
Yeah, I was telling Megan and Andy, I'm waiting to see if Seer's first appearance is in this or if it's in Batman 117 or 118.
Mm-hmm.
He'll probably appear in Batman first, but it could be this, possibly.
Next up, this is really cool. This is Joker number 9. So in this issue, the Sampson family that have kind of a vendetta against Joker have finally caught up to him, about to exact their revenge, and possibly Commissioner Gordon has to save Joker's life. Also really cool about this is connecting covers by Suyin, and so this is the first one with Punchline and the second one with Joker. I think it's very interesting they're doing connecting covers on one issue rather than spreading it for 2 issues long. So let us know, let your store know that you want both of the connecting covers and not just say, I want the Suyin cover, the connecting cover. Let them know you want both of them.
Okay, so this is the cover for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow number 5. This is the Amy Reeder variant. Very trippy and interesting what is going on in this cover. Just the way it's done, like the foreground being so solid and the background being so sort of light and airy and spacey. This is, of course, the series being done by Tom King. So this is a variant for issue number 5.
And then we have Titans United number 3, featuring the Beast Boy cover. This is the Kal-El new cardstock cover. It's really fun, fast-paced mini-series. It's going to be 7 issues. So this is number 3, cover B.
They've been doing some great covers with that, spotlighting all of the Titans.
Yeah,
that
Nightwing,
first one with Nightwing.
Raven, now Beast Boy.
And this is Wonder Woman 781. This is the TK variant. This is really cool too. So the last issue that came out kind of wrapped up the first really big story arc. Now Wonder Woman is back in kind of her reality and on her Earth, and it kind of seems like, not that they don't need her there, but they've kind of done without her. They've filled in her positions in all of her different groups and everything. So Wonder Woman's kind of trying to find her way now that she's back.
Okay, so now we're going to do other printings and graphic novels, starting with House of Slaughter number 1. We know the number 1's not out, but us retailers have to order this number 1 second print by Sunday night. So you need to tell your retailer that you want this, because I know a lot of people are going to want every printing of this. And when we have to place our orders before the number 1 is even out, the first print, it's just difficult. So this is the cover to House of Slaughter number 1 second print. The series is going to go into the history of the order of House of Slaughter. There is also a foil variant. So check this one out. Ready? And of course, every time, it's just a joke. the foil variants, you can't ever tell the difference. Like they just always send us the same image. But picture this image, and it's all foily and glistening and glossy and awesome. So I have to say, I've rarely seen where they do a second print with two covers that are open order. So this is House of Slaughter #1 second print, regular cover and foil version of regular cover. So if you order from us or whoever you order from, be specific which one you want or both and how many of them.
All right, we have a few covers coming up here for Star Wars Insider, the Souvenir Edition for 2022. This is the yearly annual that Star Wars Insider does that features highlights from across all things, comics, movies, TV shows. It's going to spotlight sort of just a highlight, an annual of the year. So once again, this is the 2022 version. This is the FOC variant.
There's some beautiful shiny armor. Hasn't seen a day of war.
And then we've seen this one before. This is the newsstand edition. And then lastly, we have the previews exclusive. So this is something you can only get at comic shops. So yeah, this is really neat. Really annual. And it's over.
This is, speaking of Star Wars, this is Star Wars Episode 4 through 9 box set. So these are graphic novels they've released individually, each one covering one of the movies from 4 through 9, this time collected in a nice slipcase for only $59.99.
What is this?
Oh, and this is, I believe, the Star Wars Insider Fiction Volume 2. So they came out with the Star Wars Fiction Volume 1 that collects some of the prose stories that are in Star Wars Insider throughout the years. I think this goes way back into the early days of Star Wars Insider as well. There's been so many. There's a Volume 2 of that coming out as well.
Okay, for those of you like us who have been enjoying Echolands, they are releasing Echolands #2 has a second print. It's gone to second print. I'm not surprised. This series has done well through word of mouth. You know, they didn't launch with 1,000 covers. They didn't launch with a big incentive. They just launched with a book that is like no other book, and anybody who looks at the art is at least impressed and amazed with that. And the story seems to be building in a really neat way as well. So #1 went to first print. This is the #2 second print. They describe this book as the image event of 2021, which, as big as that sounds, I got thinking about it. It's like, 2021's over in a few months.
Yeah.
So that's kind of sneaky that they said that.
Yeah.
But what an incredible book. Just sort of mixed media, just sort of characters from all over. Just indescribable. If your comic shop lets you, just take a peek, at least look in one of these. It's well worth your while.
I highly recommend comics that are stories that can only be told through the comic medium. That's a thing that you see very rarely, because a lot of things can be adapted or whatever. It's almost like Saga, where Brian K. Vaughan said, Saga will never work as a TV show or anything. Just because of how it's structured. I think this is the same thing. So a great thing, I think, to give people who maybe aren't familiar with comics and don't understand kind of the magnitude of the medium. This is a great one to show them.
Okay, this is a new original graphic novel called The Short While. This is going to be $29.99. It is a hardcover, so that's nice. It is from Boom. It's about a love story about two people who meet unexpectedly. They swap jackets with each other, and you've seen that a few. It's a sort of tried and true storyline. They have to find their belongings and bump into each other in weird ways. They say that this is good for fans of My Favorite Thing is Monsters and Fun Home. So if you like that, check it out.
Next up is one I'm excited to get, even though I've already read it all. This is GEIGER. They're calling it GEIGER Volume 1, which we don't know if what GEIGER Volume 2 is going to entail, if they're going to call the next thing GEIGER Volume 2 or not. But this, of course, is the Jeff Johns, Gary Frank series, post-apocalyptic, with our character GEIGER, or the Glowing Man, out in the wastelands and him trying to protect his family. Just a fantastic series, and highly recommend this one. Also, I love that this is going back to the Image Volume 1 pricing of $9.99.
Yeah.
It's their introductory pricing, so it doesn't feel like you're spending a ton to get this. And, with comics being $3.99 now, this collecting 1 through 6, it is a fantastic deal.
Yeah, I don't know how Image is able to pull this deal off in this day and age. It's like we have paper shortages coming up. Meanwhile, Image is selling you all 6 issues of Geiger for $9.99. So that's fantastic. That's awesome.
It's like half price for this series.
Yeah, it's really cool that Image does that. Okay, so Joan Jett and the Blackhearts are getting a 40th anniversary trade paperback. 20 different stories about them from a variety of creative teams. They actually didn't even list the creative teams. I think there were just too many of them. So 20 different stories. This is $19.99, and it's in honor of the 40th anniversary of Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Of course, doing I Love Rock and Roll and Bad Reputation. And I don't know what kind of is that mind power? Or
little known fact, Joan Jett also had psychic beams shooting out of her eyes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, this is Mr. Miracle, The Great Escape. This is a young adult graphic novel from DC that is a reimagining of the Mr. Miracle character. And he is going to try to break free from Apocalypse as he also falls in love with Big Barda. So if you like these DC Inc. Young adult graphic novels that, like I said, reimaginings and just lighthearted, the young adult stamp of approval on them, then check this out. It is $16.99.
This one is a big one. This is Nightwing Volume 1. This is the hardcover, so it's $24.99. This has been talk about an upturn in sales for Nightwing since this started in issue 78. This, of course, is the Tom Taylor, Bruno Redondo run on Nightwing so far, and this collects issues 78 through 83.
It's a good price for a hardcover.
It is, yeah.
And I could also say I highly recommend it. Everyone around here has been reading it. In fact, Jenny, who works on the show behind the scenes, she gathers a lot of our screens. When she saw this one, she's like, "You better order a lot of this, Jason. I'm gonna hand sell this to everyone."
Yeah.
And she will. So, okay, so this is DC's Strange Adventures by Tom King, the Black Label series. This is the entirety of it, all 12 issues. This is the hardcover for $39.99. Very interesting series. They always give Tom King the let him do his interesting characters you don't know a lot about. He does his deep dive, his sort of emotional storytelling,
deconstructing of the character.
Yeah, so this is all 12 issues, hardcover for $39.99.
And last up is this Wonder Woman trade paperback of Afterworlds. This is $24.99. This is the storyline where Wonder Woman is swept away to the sphere of the gods, but instead of landing in Olympus, she lands in Asgard. So it's a really good storyline, really great art.
Highly recommend this one, yeah.
Yeah, very good cover. So check it out. This one is $24.99.
All right, that is our show for this diminutive week. Every once in a while, we need a week where comics don't just destroy our wallets, and this is that week. I think typically we go over about 110 covers, and I think we had maybe around 80 this time, maybe less, but still some quality stuff at least.
So let us know what you are most excited about in the comments. We will talk back with you. So I hope you have a great rest of the weekend, and we're going to put up some info if you need to send us an order.
Yep. Thanks for joining us as always. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe. We would appreciate it.